All right, so part two of your case study project is the check or X section. So to figure out what you're supposed to put here, you need to go ahead and go to the actual assignment. Remember that this is interactive, so I can go ahead and click on page 2, check or X, and it takes me straight there. Woohoo! Okay, so let's read through it, okay? All right, must choose 9 instances from the memoir that display good or concerning parenting. So good or bad, right? You'll quote the text and then make your determination as to whether it's good or bad. Oh, I'm sorry, I got a phone call. Okay, you will quote it good or bad. All right, good parenting gets marked with a check mark and concerning parenting gets marked with an X. Okay, that makes sense. Both good and bad parenting should be reflected here. So in the whole section, I should have some X's and some checks, but there's no requirement. So I might just have one X and 8 checks or 8 X's and 1 check. It all just depends. Okay, got it. Now within OneNote on page 2, which is what I just had pulled up, start by putting the book's citation at the very top. Noted. Then you will create a table with 3 columns and 10 rows, and then add the following labels. Quotation with or check or X on the left, and you'll literally just put a check or an X right there. Quotation with page numbers, okay, and then your professional opinion as if you are the actual caseworker. No fewer than 4 sentences in the right-hand column. And then shown here are only 3 columns, 1 row. All right. And oh, look, we're doing the video tutorial literally right now. And then this is where we actually make the determination for our reflection. Okay, got it. So let's scroll back up. The first thing we need to do is start by putting the book's citation at the very top of page 2. So we're going to click down here and we're going to open up OWL MLA. Click on that very first thing so it looks like this. We're going to scroll down until we find books. And then we scroll basic book format. Last name, comma, first name, period, title of book, city of publication, publisher, publication date. But note, okay, the city of publication should only be used if the book was published before 1900. If the publisher has offices in more than one country, or if the publisher is unknown in North America. Now, I'll go ahead and tell you. Scribner, you can't see that. Scribner is a big name. We don't have to worry about the publication city. Okay, city of publication. So let's figure this out. Last name, comma, first name, period. So we're back in our OneNote. Last name, comma, Jeanette, period. Ta-da! Come back over here. Title of book in italics. The Glass Castle. Space. Okay? And then we don't need city of publication. Publisher, just like I mentioned, was Scribner. Found that from right here. I am absolutely blanking on what this part of the book is called, but it's right here. You can also find it on the title page. I remember that buzzword. You can also find it right here on the title page there in New York. Scribner, and I believe it's a comma after that. Publication date. Okay, this is where we actually do have to go to the title page. We're going to find the most recent, and I believe, at least my copy, First Scribner Trade Paperback Edition, 2006. We're looking for the most recent. Oh, I just started typing into nothing. 2006. And remember, all citations in MLA end in a period. Boop. That's it. That's literally the entire citation. Every single one of you will have this on your works cited page. Did you hear that? Oh no, look at that. Don't copy that yet. Woo! Walls, Jeanette, the Glass Castle. Okay, now everybody will have this. You'll have that on your works cited page. Whew, that was a close call. Okay, now I'm just going to hit enter a few times. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the actual assignment. You will start by putting the book citation at the very top. Check. Then you will create a table with 3 columns and 10 rows. Let's go ahead and do it. Insert table. Look at that. 3 columns and, oh no, look at that. We can only do 3 by 8. So we're going to then click in here and boop, 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 insert. Look at that. Insert. There's 9. Right click, insert, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There we go. Okay, now we're going to come back over to the case study assignment, 10 rows, and add the following labels. Okay, I'm literally going to highlight this. I'm going to copy it, and I'm going to, oh, I keep doing that. I'm going to paste it. Well, checker X. All right. And then, oh my gosh, I got to get that out of there. Okay. Quotation with page numbers. I'm going to hit Control C, and then we're going to come over here, and I'm going to hit Control V. Okay, that's what paste is. And then professional opinion. Control C, Control V. Ta-da! Look at that. All right. Now, if you would like to get fancy, you are welcome to shade this and change the font, just like in the annotated bibliography, whatever. Just make sure it's readable. That's all. All right. And, okay, case study assignment. And then our chart's set up. That's it. So we are now, like, I'm actually going to kind of go through one of these with you, but I'm going to pause the video. It'll just kind of glitch a little bit, and I'm going to go ahead and fill in one of these entries. All right, here we go. This is my very first entry. So I have chosen a bit of page 61. So if you'd like to turn there with me now, that would be great. Page 61. And I want to talk through the process. I was getting a little bit carried away because there was so much on this page that I wanted to cover. But I decided not to do the entire chunk, like almost the entire page, because I can use my professional opinion section to give context. So let's back up. So on page 61, this is where Brian and Jeanette are playing with the matches, and then they light the shack on fire. And Dad comes home. They expect him to be incredibly angry, but he just stands there with them, like pleased that he was there at the right time. And it's not really Rex Wall's style to be quite as humble as I see him being here. And so I thought that would be a good spot to stop and evaluate the parenting style. And I deem that as a check. I think that was a positive moment in their relationship. So there are a few things I want to talk about with what I've quoted here. You can see the ellipses right here and right here, which means I took out some of that page. I did not write everything from the sentence when I tossed in the match all the way to that he happened to be walking by. So if you're looking at the page, you can see I did take out a few sentences there. And so you're welcome to do that and just keep this as concise as you need it to be just like one full instance, okay? So you don't have to type out the entire thing. Another thing is I have included my page number. I've got the very last word and then the quotation marks, in parentheses my page number, and then period on the outside. Because we have this citation at the top, it's understood that page 61 is from the Glass Castle. And then professional opinion, because you are more than welcome to use this portion as one of your entries. I just put in italics here, just kind of like me talking to you. This is what I would write about in my professional opinion, giving context to what actually is happening, like how old the kids are, where they are at that point, where the matches even came from. And then you explain why you see that as a positive or negative parenting moment. And if you want to go ahead and pull in some of the sources that you got on your annotated bibliography, to support why you think that was a positive or negative moment, then you're doing, like, you're working ahead, because that's what your reflection's going to really, do. Like, that's the actual research part. So you're welcome to pull in other sources in the professional opinion. Now, this is kind of, while this is a project on its own, right? Like the whole check or X section, it's a pretty big deal. There are, I don't know how to say this. The more work you do in this section, the easier the reflection will be. So, while only 4 sentences for each entry in the check or X section are required, the more work you do here, the easier the reflection will be. So, keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. And I think that covers it. That's the way I would do it. And if you need help finding places to get examples right here, what I would do is go to the reading guide. Everything over here is going to kind of guide you into some direction. Like what I decided to include in the reading guide should help you in your whole case study. There are lots and lots and lots of parenting moments that I have recommended you pay attention to in the reading guide. So you are welcome, first of all, you're welcome to use this. You are welcome to use the reading guide. And then, of course, I encourage you to go off script and find some that you just think are good or concerning examples of parenting. And that is the check or X section.